everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Heather. I am 23 and I just recently started my YouTube journey. This is a video that I used to make almost every month, just a little month in review, things I've been up to, things that I've liked about the month. I did make a couple changes to this series for this video, so if you see my other ones, you'll notice a couple changes. This month I'm getting back into things, so I really didn't want to put too much pressure on myself to come up with content for this month's September in review. We're going to start out with a new segment, 5 of my favorite things from this month. So I know in my previous videos I would do my goals for next month and then things I wanted to work on this month. I'm gonna be honest, I think that was a little too much for me to handle, especially goals that were pretty hard to maintain and then I would forget them by the time I get to the next month. So we're taking baby steps. I'm just gonna do 5 of my favorites from this month. So those 5 things is my camera stuff. So I recently purchased a backdrop, whatever you want to call it, for my photography business. I love doing portraits, I love doing couples and engagements and weddings, but some of the things that I would love to offer one day is like professional headshots, and one of the things that is usually needed is some sort of backdrop and all of that setup. So I went and purchased that stuff. I'll insert a photo here of what my living room looks like. Sorry, that's Goose in the background. He's playing with his toy currently, so if you hear anything like that, it's him. But anyways, I purchased a lot of things for my photography business, including this new camera strap. I love it. I feel like it matches my personality really well. So I would say that is my #1 thing, is just getting all my camera stuff. I'm really excited to be able to learn new things and do new things. If you watched my previous video, you would see that I joined a bunch of different content creators and photographers to do like a group session with a couple. So that was really fun, and I really hope I get to do another one. All of the exciting things when it comes to camera stuff. So that's #1. #2 is I finished 2 books this month, which I have to say is all because of Audible. This is not a sponsored video, but if it was, I would give all of my kudos to Audible because I was able to read books while I was driving. I was able to read books while I was doing something busy when I really just wanted to read. So that was really nice. So the 2 books that I finished this month was It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan, and then We Don't Talk About Carol by Kristen Berry. I loved both of these. I will say We Don't Talk About Carol was probably my favorite of the 2. We Don't Talk About Carol is about several girls in the 1960s, 6 black girls that went missing from Raleigh, North Carolina, and how they revealed their whereabouts, what happened to them. I'm not going to spoil the book, but I would rate this as one of my favorite books of all time. It's a love story. It was good, very stereotypical romance novel, so I did like it. It just wasn't as entertaining as We Don't Talk About Carol. So those are the 2 books that I finished this month. The third thing, my third favorite thing this month is that I got to go visit Boston with my dad and my aunt and uncle. So a little bit about me. I actually lost my grandpa about 2 years ago, and he was a huge Boston Red Sox fan, and on his birthday was a pretty good game. It was a Boston versus Yankees game, so this year in memory of him we went to the game. It was amazing. I'll insert some photos here. I want to go back to Boston so bad. It is so fun. We did a bunch of touristy things, went to the aquarium, went and saw a bunch of historical landmarks, and then went to Fenway Park for a game because if you're in Boston, why not? So that was really fun. And then #4 on my favorites this month is we celebrated Goose's first birthday. I wish we could have done more for him, but I was just so busy that day, and the next day he was getting neutered, so we couldn't feed him past 7, which was around the time I got back home. So it wasn't really anything fun we could do for him, which is kind of sad, but next year we'll do a do-over. And then #5 of my favorite thing this month is getting back into YouTube. I don't know if it was just like my change in attitude or change in perspective when it came to hobbies and finding things that I can look forward to after work. But working in the field that I do, it is incredibly stressful with limited resources and very limited support. So it can definitely feel really overwhelming. That's where there's such a high turnover rate. However, finding things that I enjoy, which this is one of them, as soon as I was able to find that spark of passion back, I am just so excited to be able to get back into this. So that is my number 5. That was the new segment, which was just 5 things I liked about this month. The next little segment I'm going to do is some book reviews. I know I talked about earlier when I talked about I read 2 books. I wanted to go into a little bit more in depth about them. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, I know only 2 books is not a lot. However, I have not been a very big book reader until literally this year. I don't know what came over me, but I wanted to read books so bad. So I started reading more books, and then my goal for the end of the year is just to read 10 books. That's all. I think next year my goal is to maybe we'll increase it to maybe 15 if I make my 10. But yeah, the 2 books that I read were obviously It's a Love Story, and we'll talk about Carol. So It's a Love Story is about a girl who works in Hollywood and essentially produces movies and is trying to produce a movie and has a background with a popular singer and wants to essentially ask the popular singer if they're interested in creating a song for said movie. It doesn't go out so well, but she ends up finding a little boyfriend in the process. We don't talk about Carol. I don't want to give away too much because literally I think I read this in like a week. It is so good, and it's so thought-provoking in the sense of like I can only imagine things from my perspective. I have the capability to feel empathy for others, but I truly am only able to perceive things from my perspective. So getting to be able to see and essentially feel the emotions of helplessness when it comes to these girls in the 1960s who went missing and nobody really looked for them. It's heartbreaking, but it is so thought-provoking. The current book that I am reading is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I would say I'm about a quarter done. I have been listening to a lot of it, so keeping track of how far I am into a book that I'm listening to is a little hard. But I am a quarter done. There's a movie coming out on it, so I really want to watch it and be able to have said that, oh, I read the book. So I'm gonna read this, finish it, hopefully by like mid-October at this rate. So with that being said, we are getting to the fun part of the month in review, and I feel like my favorite part of the monthly review is Disney updates. If you all didn't watch my last video, you would know that my girlfriend and I are going back to Disney in December for my birthday for a long weekend, and I'm so incredibly excited. We're about 80 days away from our trip, and I believe in like 2.5 weeks, we go ahead and make our dining reservations. We have a very rough draft of what we want to do on the trip. The only 2 decisions that we have made, like permanent decisions that we have made, is we're going to SeaWorld one day, which I know is a little controversial. However, my girlfriend has never been, and I think it'd be important for her to go and see an environment like that. So we are going to SeaWorld, and then we are going to, well, I guess multiple things we've really decided on, but going to SeaWorld, and then we are going to the Christmas party, and then we are going to Ohana one day, and then we're getting our professional photos done while we are at the Polynesian. So very exciting things. And then the last portion that I kind of wanted to touch a little bit on in this video is some of our non-negotiables when it comes to dining. Speaking about dining, when we are going to make our reservations in only a couple weeks, I thought I would run some ideas by you all, get y'all's input, and fall in love with Ohana. I understand that not everyone has had a positive experience there. I've heard good reviews, I've heard bad reviews, but we have had an amazing experience there. So I'm really excited about dining at Ohana. I do know that I really want to dine at Sebastian Bistro's again. That is one of my favorite dining experiences on Disney property. It's also one of the more inexpensive places to eat on Disney property, so that's really nice. When another dining option that I don't think we wouldn't do is probably Toy Story. I think it's called Woody's Roundup. My girlfriend and I love it there. My girlfriend literally asked them several times for boxes. They will not give you boxes, but I think my girlfriend's gonna try and sneak in Tupperware. How much she loves it. But no, like I said, I think those are some of our non-negotiables for this upcoming trip. And then just in general, I can't see us ever going to Disney and not visiting those places to eat. So I'm really excited to start really planning for this trip. I will keep you all updated with those planning things too. I plan on having a big long video from dining reservations to flights to tickets to literally everything in between. I don't think I'm gonna do another outfits section, but I do think I'm gonna include some of the things I didn't necessarily touch on. I'm super, super excited, and I will see you all next video. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you aren't already. I would also recommend you turn on post notifications because I don't even know when I'm gonna post next. Hopefully next week, but who knows. Okay, I will see you all next time. Bye.